What's going on, Serpa Squad? Testing out some new gear here in the animal room. Showing you what's going on. This will be a little bit of a candid video. Just showing you an update on everything. I won't really go into too much detail, but just give you a better look at a lot of the enclosures you probably haven't seen in a while. And that sort of thing. Got the Daniell Tank here, still doing really well. All the Daniels are just swimming around doing their thing. Plants are growing in quite nicely. This is not going to be a long-term tank. I have plans to put something much larger here. But that's for a future build. We'll do that, of course. We have the new Gargoyle Gecko down in here. She's doing pretty well. Wasn't eating at first, but I finally got her eating again. I think she just was stressed out from the move and everything like that, but she's eating well. Seems to like the enclosure. I'm pretty excited about getting her in a bioactive setup in about a month or so. We have the new pond theme Areum here, doing really well. It's only about a week old at this point, but I added some Spanish moss up in here. It's another type of tillandsia, will kind of grow down. I think it was a good choice. Adds to the setup for sure. We also have what I believe I called it the unique Riparium in the video, but this one is also doing really well. All the plants have grown in nicely, and thankfully the rabbit's foot fern took. I wasn't sure if it would or not, but it took. Not all of it did. There was a few segments that fell off, but overall it's doing pretty well, and I am glad to see that it worked because I think that was a pretty cool plant for that. We have the Venus Flytrap Terrarium, of course. This one, not doing so great. The Venus Flytrap is still live, and it actually flowered last month. There was a big flower coming up here. I didn't get any videos or pictures of it, unfortunately, but I think what I'm going to do is take that out of there for the long term. I just don't know if it's a good idea. Up here we have all the terrariums and a few of the ecospheres. Ecospheres are doing really well, and the wedding terrarium is also doing pretty well. We actually have the Valentine's Day terrarium 2. I said that one wasn't coming home with us, but it ended up coming home with us, so that's pretty cool. Got a bunch of other jars I gotta set up. Other ones up here that I gotta set up as well. Got schemes for some of them, but I don't know. A lot of other stuff in the works, so I haven't really got a chance to do much. This project, which I started, I don't know, at least a year ago. Never finished that one, and then all of my containers. Quite a few, right? I just collect them as I see them, set them aside for future builds, or if anybody wants me to build something for them. You never know when you could use them. We have my more established terrariums over in here. All doing really well for the most part. We have the ones up here that need work or redone. Some of them are doing alright, like the levitating terrarium, that one's doing really well, but most of the others I want to redo and make them look crisp. Down here we have Casper's Blackwater setup. I don't know if you can see him right now, but he is resting right there. He's doing pretty well. The tank itself is growing in very nicely. Crypts are doing really well. I put the root tabs right under them, so they're growing pretty well. Tank is super low maintenance. Do water change maybe about once a month because the plants do most of the work, and I'm only doing about a 20% water change when I do, and that's how it should be, easy. But over here we have the Blue Dream Shrimp tank, and this is not a long-term tank. Although I really like how it looks, I think that I just don't really like the 10-gallon size, and I kind of want to do more setups the rimless style with riparian growth coming out of them. Now picture this same type of setup but including riparian growth, so similar to how this is with the plants coming up off of the driftwood. But I think it'd be really cool, and the shrimp are doing well. There's one on the leaf right there cruising on past. They seem a lot more active and out and about since I've added the leaf litter, so I'm pretty excited about that. But they're doing well, grown in size. And we've got the begonia over in here. Here's the Nano Riparium. It's doing pretty well. Might need to do a little trim and some maintenance on it, but by and large I'd say it's doing well. I've got the mini complete Pallidarium and the moss aquarium. Both of those need a little TLC, but they're doing fine. Like, the plants are alive and everything, but they just need a little bit of work, so at some point we'll do that. I've got some new plants right there that I need to process after doing this video. I just went and shut off the lights for this part, but up here we've got Samson's Pallidarium, looking really nice. I like how it's coming together. All the plants are doing well. The Ficus Pumila is starting to go up the background and really take it over. Ideally I want it to grow over everything, hide the filtration. The only thing that changed was I had the spider plant over here. It didn't take like I had anticipated, unfortunately. I think that it was too far submerged. Just didn't like it, so I got the Syngonium in here. I think that's a better choice anyways, and that's actually what I wanted, but whenever I set the tank up, they didn't have any, so I guess it all worked out. Pothos doing its thing, and he is right there. I think he must have seen me because he closed his eyes, but they're open just a moment ago. We've got the Fire-Bellied Toad Pallidarium. It's grown in ridiculously. It's looking crazy right now, but I like it. Little jungle type of setup. Looking good. I definitely like it. And then we have MJ's Pallidarium, and he is right up front there. I'm not sure if you can see him. I think you probably can, but doing well. Pretty basic. I keep his setup pretty basic because he tramples on all the plants and everything. So yeah, stays clean though. My initial worry with him was that once I got him in that setup, I wasn't going to be able to keep it clean, but I think all of the rocks and all the different surfaces creating a better area for beneficial bacteria, or I guess more surface area for beneficial bacteria, it's actually a lot easier to keep it clean. And then of course I have that canister filter on there. Got the Crested Gecko setups over in here. Henry is hanging out right down there. That's one of his spots. I don't know why, don't ask me. One of his spots though, he likes hanging out there. Everything has grown in pretty well. I want them to be a little bit more dense, and I definitely like these setups. I think that long term though, I may redo them. I think I could have done them a little bit better, just the placement of items and that sort of thing. But overall, I mean, the geckos are doing really good, eating well, hanging out. They seem to enjoy the setups for now, so we'll just keep them going. Down here we got my masterpiece, I guess if you want to call it that, my 180. I really enjoy this one. I just love the way all the plants look. That's how it's looking. I really enjoy the setup, and yeah, we're gonna definitely have to get those dart frogs in there soon. Just gotta get a few more bromeliads up in here, and then a few more plants, some here and back in here. I like the way that how the foreground is empty, so to speak, like a lot of low growers and that sort of thing, keeping it clean, and areas for the frogs to come up and eat. But I want that background, so that's where they'll hide out, and just the way that it looks, I feel like it needs a little bit more back in there. Up here, this tank is empty right now, the 90 gallon, and that's gonna come down for good. That tank's been with me for, oh man, I don't know, 13 years at least, and it's time. The native fish are outside now, so there's not any need to have it around. It's all scraped up, and it's gotta go. Make room for bigger and better things. And while we're talking about getting rid of tanks, our boy Dean, he's just up there basking, getting some rays, but his tank also needs to go. I guess I shouldn't say his tank, but the 125 that he's in now, that's gonna go, because I've had that for around the same amount of time as I have the 90, and the two of them, they've been through it. They've had it. They're all scratched up, etched, and they gotta go. They got to go, but we're gonna make room for some pretty cool stuff. Over here I've got a box of botanicals. I've got isopod springtails for a build you're gonna see me do in about 2 weeks. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be pretty cool. Over here, of course, we have the Bio Orb, which is doing really well overall. I was surprised, however, that the Maidenhair Fern did exceptionally well, and then the Mai didn't. This one, I think it just needs trimmed back, and then it's going to grow. I think it was just some acclimation die-off, because there is some live sections under there, so I'm not too sure, but everything else is doing pretty well. But the Macode's Patula also took a little bit of a beating, surprisingly. I don't know if it's pests are getting to it or what, but check out this begonia. That's nuts. That's probably some of the fastest growth I've ever seen on a begonia rex. They do really well in my propagation bins, but over in here, man, it just blew up. Look at that plant. It looks nuts. But yeah, overall, I mean, it looks pretty good. I don't have any complaints about that aspect of it, other than I gotta fix up that plant area back in there. But yeah, overall, really enjoying it. Think it's doing good. Just nothing really to speak of over here. Just my supplies, my isopods, plant bins. You know how all of that goes. And then over here, of course, we have the 150 cube, which at this time is doing pretty well. All the fish are doing well. Water's nice and clear. But I swear, this tank has plagued me. It's given me problems. And if I want to put it this way, I just feel like it's cursed. Because, as you know, I had the snapping turtle in here previously. I'm not really too sure how she passed. I believe it was mechanical issues, if I'm going to be honest. But there's no way for me to know for sure. I never did an autopsy or anything. I had issues when I first set it up, or it was shortly after I first set it up, maybe like 2 or 3 months after the fact. My heaters, they malfunctioned. They got really hot. Tank heated up to about 90, 95, super hot, and I lost my African clawed frogs. I was surprised that nothing else went. It was just the frogs that I lost, but that issue happened. And then if you notice, there's a lot less life in here now. And I lost all of the Danios, unfortunately. One night I came over to feed them because I was doing my rounds, and I'm like, man, what the heck is going on? My air pump broke, and I guess it was like, it must have happened the night before, and then the whole day it was busted. When I came over, they were all dead in here. They were the only things that died, surprisingly. Very unfortunate, but this is not a long-term tank. I'm not really too sure what I want to do with it. I would like to turn it into a planted aquarium / riparium. I think it'd look really cool. It's just almost an island of plants growing up out of the center. Just a crazy aquascape. The issue, however, though, is the silver dollars. You can't really do them in a planted tank. You could get away with doing them in a riparium, of course. So I don't know if just I won't have any underwater growth or what, but this tank really isn't ideal for them long term anyways, because it's not long. So I'm not sure. So that's what's going on in the room. All of the tanks are doing really well for the most part. All the animals are doing really well. We'll of course do a proper animal room at some point in the future. One of the reasons I have been waiting so long to do one is that I didn't want to do another tour until I had this type of gear. I just really wanted to show off my stuff in the best light possible. And my goal really is just to show these things for how I see them in person. I'm not going out of my way to color correct or just do things to the video. But with this, I feel like I'm really just capturing it to look so much closer to how it does in person. The colors are more vivid. And I mean, honestly, what I'm seeing here on camera, I'm not in post yet, but what I'm seeing here on camera looks really close to what I'm seeing in person. So let me know down in the comments how this looks to you. Obviously it's gonna look better, but is it that big of an improvement? Does it even matter to you? I don't know. Let me know. But let's go outside and check out the ponds, why don't we? So then of course we come out my front door. And here it is, we're greeted by the ecosystem pond, which is doing really well. Really like how it's coming together. We got all kinds of landscaping going on now. Gotta do a little bit more, of course, but all in due time, right? I don't know if we're gonna be able to see any of the fish right now just overlay some B-roll so you guys can actually see them in here if we can't. They're still just a little bit skittish and not really too used to it yet, but honestly, they're loving it in here. The catfish are swimming throughout all the nooks and crannies of the rocks. Overall, this is just looking really good. All the plants really are softening up the rocks and just bringing things together quite nicely. The fish are definitely enjoying it way better than that aquarium. It's really cool to see the catfish swim in and out of all the rocks, and then at night when they swim in front of the lights, it looks pretty cool because you see their shadows. Again, I'll just get some B-roll of them because it looks like they're all hiding right now. And something crazy that happened with this pond was when I stocked it with the fish, I put them in, and then I noticed that there was baby fish living in here. So I don't know if there was eggs or something in the plants and their, fish had come from there, but chances are they got eaten, unfortunately. I tried to capture them, but I just couldn't do it, and I wasn't gonna go and take my fish out of here to get them. Update, it's night right now, and I was just feeding the native fish, and I saw some of the little ones swimming around, so I hurried up and got the net, and I was able to catch this one, and as it would turn out, they were baby goldfish. I should have known because I put the hyacinth in there from the goldfish pond, or some of them that is, and they had some crazy roots right now, so chances are these guys were living up in the roots, and then when I transferred them from pond to pond, we introduced goldfish into that one. Probably gonna get a few more sunfish, definitely no more catfish, but I think maybe like 3 more sunfish and call it quits from there. I don't want to overstock this or go crazy with it. I think 7 fish is good enough. We also got to go out back and check out the DIY pond. There she is. Before we do that though, just take a moment to appreciate this. It's almost gone and I'm so sad about it. I love summer. I'm alright with fall for a little bit, but I'm not about the winter. And here it is, looking pretty good. Of course, every time I come out here, the lilies are already shut for the day, but as you can see, the goldfish are doing awesome. Pond is still nice and clean. I'm doing great. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'll get some B-roll if not, but the big orange one has started changing colors. It's got a black stripe going down its back now. Decided it wants to look like the Shubunkin. If you remember, that was the one that I had way back when. It was originally brown, sort of changed to a yellow color, then it changed to orange, changed again. I don't know, it's crazy, but it just keeps on changing. In case you're wondering, I was feeding the Aquascape fish pellets. Thanks, Greg. The fish are loving it. As you can see, there's still a little bit on there, but they munch most of it up. And look at those colors. Man, they just turning red from being out here in the sun. So glad to have got them out here. Like I said, that was the long-term vision, of course, but how cool is all that looking? All the plant growth and everything. Guess we'll see how everything overwinters, but I don't know, I can't ask for more with this one. It's just, I love it. I know a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't look natural, but that was not at all the point of it. If I was trying to make a natural pond, I would have. This is just showcase plants, showcase fish. That's all it's for. And to function properly, which clearly it does. Look at that water. Always crystal clear. Love it. And that's going to do it for this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it was just a little bit more of a candid type of video testing out my new gear. Let me know what you thought about it down in the video description. Typically I'm doing static type shots. I'm not doing these moving type of shots. And that's something that I really want to start integrating into my content. So I really hope that you guys like this. As I said, just testing out the gear. I'm not too proficient at any of this stuff yet. I'm learning. So yeah, if you guys want to see more content on my animal room, if you want to see what I'm going to be able to do with this new gear, then definitely subscribe if you're not already a part of the Serpa Squad. If you liked the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Take care and peace.